Let's move on to the final conversation and debating point here, and this is a sector that Mirror Now has repeatedly focused on: education, and the massive impact the field of education has actually seen because of the pandemic and COVID. Now, one big issue that hasn't been resolved yet, even though more and more students and families and teachers are becoming accustomed to the online classes format, one issue that remains is the fee payment. And repeatedly in different parts of the country, sometimes in Delhi, sometimes in Karnataka, sometimes in Mumbai, and this time in Pune, it becomes a face-off situation between the parents and students, parents mostly, and the school management and teachers on the other side. Right now, as we speak, 1,400 schools have shut down, suspended classes for 3 days in Pune in Maharashtra. This is a mark of a protest over non-payment of fees. Now, these schools say that in many cases, almost 50% of students enrolled, their parents haven't paid fees. There is disagreement about what kind of fees has to be paid. Should the schools really be charging you for services and activities that they're not able to provide, for sports, for transport? Schools say, well, some of these we are not charging you anymore. But the parents say, we are also witnessing a financial crunch. The education is only happening online. Why are we supposed to pay you the same fees when the entire activity has been curtailed? So at the end of it, this face-off has resulted in classes being cancelled. Now, is that fair? There are students whose parents have paid the full fees. But in an environment where already your academic calendar has been shortened, is it fair on those students that they don't get to attend classes for 3 days at least, if not more? On the other hand, is it fair for parents to say, well, just because the classes are online, I'm not going to pay the full money? The schools still have to pay their staff. They still have to pay their teachers. Where are they going to get the money for if you don't pay your school fees? It's a tricky one. Let's just be honest about it. There are points to be made on both sides. So let's ask the question, is it time for the government to then step in and resolve this, come up with some kind of a solution, some kind of guidelines at least? I'm going to open this up for conversation. Let's say good evening to Anubha Sahai, Advocate and President for India-wide Parents Association, Rajendra Singh, State President for Federation of Unaided Schools Association in Maharashtra, Ekta Chawla, a teacher at Clara Global School in Pune, also joining us this evening. Let me actually go across to Mr. Rajendra Singh first. Mr. Rajendra Singh, how grave is this problem in terms of parents not paying school fees?
First of all, I would like to say good evening to you. I was listening to you and you said this is a mark of a protest. I would like to clear, ma'am, this is not a mark of a protest. If you wanted to protest, we would have protested in the month of August or month of July or month of September when the fees was not coming. We patiently waited for 8 months. And after 8 months, our funds, everything what we had has been exhausted and we cannot move any further. So it's a mark of incapability rather than a mark of protest.
But how can incapability be just for a few days? Or are you saying this is now going to be a longer decision beyond a few days?
Yeah, we have a very positive approach and we are hopeful that parents will understand that finally if fees is not paid for such a long duration, schools might have to be forced to shut down because they won't have anything to say to their teachers, to their bankers, to pay EMIs, to rents and all other costs. So finally, we are thinking that this would give us a platform for parents to let go of their misunderstanding. A lot of parents say that government ne bola hai fee nahi bharna hai, ya there's a court's order, but nothing of that is been said or ordered in the court. Fees is to be paid. Fees is to be paid, and as you rightly said, just last 30 seconds, we have not hiked the fees. We have waived off all the fees of unutilized activities and we have given installments. After doing all that, around 50% parents are still saying ki nahi, there's a government decision pending, we will not pay online class ko kyun dena hai.
Anubha Sai, let me bring in the other side as well. Anubha Sai, if fee has been waived off for sports and transport, obviously facilities which are not being used, if they're also saying that you can pay in installments, then what is the issue?
I don't know why. How come he's saying that the fee they have waived off fees? Because as far as the parents are concerned, we have a data where parents are saying that schools are forcing them to pay transport fees, book fees, lab fee, blah blah. There are so many heads, and there are some schools that are charging under tuition fee. But Tanvi madam, they have clubbed all the fees under tuition fees. They are showing that we are only taking tuition fees. We are not charging transport fees. We are not charging lab fees, but they have clubbed all the heads under tuition fees, and they are just showing that we are collecting tuition fees from parents. That is not the scene. If these institutions are transparent, they should come forward and let them share the details with us. With association, there are many associations which are working in Maharashtra. Let them share the details with parent association. We have all the right. These are public institutions, and we will also see to it that how this issue can be resolved. Parents never want that their child will suffer, and parents are ready to pay. There are parents who have taken loan. There are parents who are calling me and they're saying we are selling our gold and all to pay the fees. This is not the scene. And but there are some parents who have lost job. They don't have any business. It's a crucial time. It's a very critical time which everyone should understand. And I think now government should also step in. We have sympathy with with teachers and school management, no doubt. They might be facing some crisis. There might be some school who are facing crisis, but there are schools. They in Pune, I got to know there's one school. They have started their new branch from there, from where these schools are getting fees and money for opening new branches. They're hiring lawyers and legal counsels in High Court and Supreme Court. From where they're getting money? They have money to open new branches and to hire lawyers, but they don't have money to pay salary to teachers. So I don't think whether these schools are whatever they're saying is right or wrong. Let them come. Let them share the details with associations. We are ready to help and support the schools and everywhere. Being a social activist, I will personally see to it that this issue will be resolved soon, because no one wants that the child will suffer, the education will suffer, and this is not the right thing to do. How come you are just saying that we will not allow other students also? This is just
Right.
blackmailing which these institutions are doing.
There is merit to the fact that those who've actually paid their fee are also going to have to suffer because a few others have decided not to. I also want to highlight that this is not just a problem of Pune. In Madhya Pradesh, in fact, there are school associations who've already declared that they're going to go again on a strike on December 16th, which is tomorrow. Private schools and colleges will be shut. They're demanding that, you pay our fees, you reopen schools which are up to class 6, which are obviously not open right now, and you give us waivers on various kinds of taxes. So these schools are not just taking on the parents, they're also actually asking the government to bring in some waiver on property tax, road and permit tax as well. In Uttar Pradesh, in Noida, parents have already gone to the Allahabad High Court over school fee, and they are actually questioning the arbitrary fee, some of which Anubha Sai was referring to right now, that they've started to club or categorize their fee differently and move it from one category to the other to say, okay, we're not charging you for, say, extracurricular activities, but we're going to charge you more for tuition fee. In Telangana, parents have protested demanding reduction of school fee. They, in fact, are saying just charge us tuition fee, and which cannot be 50% more than what we are, which should be just 50% of what we otherwise pay you. Let's get a third perspective. Ekta Chawla, a teacher at a school in Pune, joins us this evening. Ekta Chawla, are there widespread instances where the schools are saying we can't pay the teachers because fee is not coming in?
Yes, of course. First of all, good evening, panel. I'd like to tell you that my heart really goes out to the students who'll be missing out their learning for these 3 days. But I'd like to stand with my teacher fraternity who are not paid full salaries. When we put in, all the teachers have been putting in their 100%, and we getting paid up to 50, 60, or 70%, only because the parents are not paying the fees on time. The school and the management is ready to stand by them, giving them waivers and giving them, monthly payment opportunities. Yet the parents are not paying the fees. Let me tell you, the teachers who are not tech savvy have really learned how to deliver online, and we're delivering effective lessons. And we're trying to bridge the gap at this difficult moment. And they're not being paid is really a difficult situation for us.
Okay, now I understand what you're saying. So then it comes back to really looking at how the money is really being utilized, how much is coming in. Rajendra Singh, give us a sense to say in the first 6 months of the pandemic or the first 8 months that we've seen so far, how much or what percentage of your regular fee collection is really taking place?
Firstly, I would like to appreciate you, Tadviji, ki you have facts in place. I would also advise the parent body to have facts in place. Firstly, there are more than 2,000 schools in Pune, might be 10 opening new branches or whatever they're doing, but 1,400 schools, which are budget schools, which are less than 30,000. All of our member schools have reduced fees and following the guidelines given by the government, laid by the government, and still they are not paid because we are getting these kind of excuses. कि वो 50% कर लो ऐसा है वैसे all excuses but not fees. What we are doing and showing to the teachers, we are showing the transparent record of all the students who have paid from their class and giving it to the each teacher so that we can have that trust level between the teachers and us so we can be able to deliver education. So we are completely transparent to the teachers, showing the number of students who have paid and not even half of the class has paid. Teachers are also forwarding us parents who have issues, genuine issues, and we have helped each of them. Now we are at a place after 8 months, we realize that we have done waivers, we have reduced fees, we have done everything they wanted. Finally, there is just denial and avoidance when it comes to fulfill the responsibility, and that is the point.
No, so you're saying that 50%, and this is across board, 50% of the parents of enrolled students haven't paid any fee at all since the school shut down?
Further on, I would add that in SEC board schools, generally parents delay fees. Even last year fees is not paid. The situation is so pathetic, and why are we still giving excuses? We love our children, we love, and education is a passion. Come forward and see our records, see everything. But we don't want to come to the school, rather go to and have morchas against us. We are here for the parents, we are here for the students, and this is not a protest against anybody.
So let
This
me
is
Right. So let me ask you, let me ask Anupa Sai to respond to this, and then I will ask everybody if what is the possible solution, because we've stared at this deadlock now for 8 months, Anupa Sai, and in fact it's only worsening across the country. It's the same story. Parents who feel that why should we pay more when it's a simple online class, you don't have overhead costs, schools are just trying to mint money, take more money out of us, teachers who are not getting parents, and genuinely schools who may not have the money, who run on very tight budgets. So what's the solution?
See, I have all the sympathy with the teachers and school management. No doubt they might be facing problem, but at the same time, parents are also going through a lot of tough time. Many parents have lost job. These institutions must be knowing. Whole country knows that most of the sectors are not doing well. Be it any sector, we know that how the situation is there. Financial crisis is there in our country. So during this financial crisis, at least maybe if these some institutions which they are saying that they don't have money to run the school, I think then government should step in, because there are parents who are not able to pay. It's not that the parents are not willing to pay. Parents have been paying fees since past many years, and every year there is a fee revision where the fee has been increased since many past 5-6 years. I have also seen. So there is huge surplus. There might be some schools which might be facing some problem. So I think in this scenario, government should intervene and have a word with the school management and parents also. And if they need any kind of aid or support, financial support, I think government should come and waive off the taxes and whatever expenses these school managements are facing. Because being a parent body, we know that parents are also having a lot of tough time. So it is a difficult situation, no doubt. How to get out of the solutions.
So, have there been instances, Anupa Sai, at a national level or a state level where parents have gone to the government and said, well, give us a solution here?
Yes.
So, what do the governments
Yes.
do? Because the government here today in Maharashtra, we've had the education minister say, oh, this is not right, we're going to take action. I don't know what action and against whom, but what are the governments saying?
No, government is not doing anything. They're just saying that we will conduct audit, we will go and conduct inspection of school, we will do this and that. They have formed a committee. Committee is just on paper. They have done nothing. So I don't know why government is not stepping in and resolving the dispute which has arisen due to this pandemic between schools, parents, and teachers. Because parents never want that their children will suffer. And there are parents who have already paid fees like for whole year. There are many schools and colleges. In fact, in colleges, students are telling me that they have been charging. Colleges are charging for hostel fees. Why these institutions are charging for hostel fees, I don't know. So many instances where parents have forcefully they have been told to pay the fees. Otherwise, their children will not be allowed to
Okay.
attend the online.
Let me get a
Something
response from
coming.
Rajendra Singh. And Mr. Singh, when you do make your point, also tell us if you've had conversations with the government, if government has any solution to offer.
Firstly, I would like to say again, we do not have facts and data as our parent association friend is saying. She's saying all parents are in problem. No, ma'am. We have
No,
done
I'm not
survey
saying
on each and every, let me
not all.
finish, each and every parent, and we have found that around 12 to 13 parents, 12 to 13% of parents are really affected. They have approached the schools, we have held them. Other parents, they have not been approachable. They're saying कि नहीं भरना है, अगले बार देखेंगे, अगले महीने, all other excuses. So parents are affected, but a very small number. I am talking about capable parents. Why are capable parents not coming forward and doing the responsibility? We have sent emails to the government saying that at least state that the government had first year which created this confusion not pay fees during the lockdown, but after the lockdown parents are still using that video, that recordings to not pay fees and avoid their responsibility. We have gone to the government, we have tell them at least mention that at least capable parents who are and can pay with the fees monthly, quarterly, whatever, please come forward and pay, because we have done our responsibility. Now it's their turn to fulfill their responsibility. We can't run the show with 30% of parents paying, and it is injustice to 30% paying and 70% getting the education for free.
Ekta Chawla, what's the solution then from here on? Because at the end of the day, just like the students, it's also the teachers who have to bear the brunt. You obviously wouldn't want to stop teaching your students.
Yeah, see, there are many teachers who are very passionate about teaching, yet they're forced to, think about other career options because they cannot go on with 70% or 50% of the salaries. They are forced to think about other career options. So when the pandemic ends, whenever it is, you won't have effective teachers left because they would have moved on to other career options. So the solution is with the parents.
Yes.
And management, the parents have to pay the fees. It is only fair for the teachers and the management that they pay the fees on time.
And I feel that this is actually a thing now where the central government and the state governments need to start being a little bit more proactive, which we are not seeing. In fact, in every case, we've seen that the parents or the teachers or the schools have ended up going to their courts in their own respective states. So the Rajasthan High Court in the month of September had to then ask the private schools to charge only 70% of the tuition fee, which was further challenged by the parents saying, well, even this much is very difficult. And so the case still goes on at a higher bench. Parents are having to go to High Court over this. In West Bengal, again, the Calcutta High Court in October asked around 145 schools in the city to offer a waiver of at least 20% in school fees, while barring them from hiking fees till a month after they reopen for physical classes. Physical classes is far, far away in most of the states right now. But the matter has already reached the Supreme Court. It's there in Delhi High Court. It's there in Tamil Nadu, in Madras High Court, that's asked permitted private schools to collect 35% of the annual fee. So in a state-by-state basis, you're actually seeing different courts come up with different rules. Some courts say only collect 35%, some say 70%, some are limiting it to a percentage of a tuition fee. Others have simply said, okay, at least don't hike your fee. What is heartbreaking here, Anubha Sahai, is that in all of this, it's the student who is already struggling so much because your academic calendar year has been completely, thrown out of gear. Your classes are not being held in a normal way. It's so difficult to even, on an online platform, connect with your teachers, understand what is being taught. They're also adapting. Youngsters are also adapting. And for them to then be told, oh, up to class online bhi nahi hoegi. That, I think, is the most heartbreaking part.
Yeah, it is no doubt because students have been studying since past 6-7 months online. They're taking online classes. And there are colleges which are shut. They are not even imparting online education. There are many schools, they are also not imparting online education. In remote areas, if you will go and see that students, they don't have access to online classes. Hardly 40 or 50% students are having access to online classes. So what about those students who are not able to afford the gadgets and all? They don't have Wi-Fi. So they are not getting any kind of education. So how can we say that these students should also pay the fees? There's a judgment from Honorable High Court of Uttarakhand. The Uttarakhand has said that they can charge only tuition fees if they are imparting online education. And Supreme Court has upheld that order. And the High Court has clearly said that if the students are not getting online access, online education, that school has no right to charge fees from the parents. So even high courts have held that charging 100% fees is not correct. Many high courts have given a fee waiver for students. So why not in Maharashtra? In Maharashtra, schools should come forward and instead they should give fee waiver to all the parents, especially to those who are not able to pay the fees.
Or the government steps in and provides some kind of an aid to the schools who are struggling to continue with their classes. The teachers can't be made to pay for it or to bear the brunt for it, to say, oh, we're not going to pay you, because they themselves are actually, their workload has also increased. They have to find newer ways of teaching the same thing on a completely new platform. I'm out of time, but thank you so much to all three of you for bringing all sides of the story to this, and we hope that this actually comes to the notice of the government. This is something that at least the education department, the education minister in each state should be looking at any which ways. What else is there to be done? But even if so far they have failed to come up with a set of guidelines, they have failed to offer credible solutions, sustainable solutions, they need to do so now. We cannot be making it more difficult for the children in our country than it already is in times of a pandemic. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.